Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, and today we're going to explain the changes to Illinois family law in 2019. Back in 2017, we saw a major overhaul to how child support law was handled in Illinois. Now, in 2019, the overhaul is in spousal maintenance, and that's where all of these changes focus. So first, let's talk about the tax treatment of spousal maintenance. Prior to 2019, spousal maintenance payments were tax deductible to the payor, and they were taxable as income to the recipient. Now, maintenance payments are no longer tax deductible to the payor if the maintenance order was entered after January 1st, 2019, and they are not taxable to the recipient. So basically, the tax burden is shifted to the payor from the recipient. This basically means the government's going to get more money because the payor tends to be in a higher tax bracket, but it might mean that there are judges, when they're deviating from the guidelines, are going to be awarding smaller maintenance awards, because when they were deviating from the guidelines before, they would take the fact that maintenance payments were tax deductible to the payor into consideration in giving higher maintenance awards. So next, let's talk about the new threshold for spousal maintenance guidelines. So before 2019, if the couple had a combined income of more than $250,000, the judge could deviate from the spousal maintenance guidelines for the amount and duration of maintenance without giving a reason. They could deviate at any time, but if it was under $250,000 combined income, the judge would have to give a reason for deviating in the order that the judge entered. So above that $250,000 threshold, they would usually deviate upward and give more in spousal maintenance payments than the guidelines would normally give in spousal maintenance. So now that threshold has been raised to a $500,000 combined income from $250,000, meaning that more people will fall within the guidelines. So people that previously were above $250,000 in combined income but less than $500,000 would have the judges usually deviate upward and award more than the guidelines would require for spousal maintenance. Now those people have the guidelines applied and will have smaller, generally, spousal maintenance awards than they would have prior to 2019. Next, we'll talk about how spousal maintenance is calculated. Before 2019, the amount of spousal maintenance when the guidelines were applied would be determined by subtracting 20% of the gross income of the recipient from 30% of the gross income of the payor, with a cap of 40% of the combined income of the parties. Now, the calculation is done as follows. It's 25% of the net income of the recipient subtracted from 33 1/3% of the net income of the payor. The 40% cap still exists. So we've switched from gross income to net income that we're talking about. And we have a video and article about how net income is arrived at. Gross income is income from all sources. Net income subtracts some things out from that. So it switched from gross to net, and also the percentages are a little bit different. From subtracting 20% from 30% of the gross, now we're subtracting 25% from 33 1/3%. Finally, let's talk about the duration of spousal maintenance payments. So duration is calculated when the guidelines are being applied based on a table. It's based on a percentage of the length of the marriage. That's how long maintenance payments will go on for. So, for example, if the marriage is less than 5 years, then it's 20% of the length of the marriage that maintenance payments will continue for. So if it's a 4-year marriage, you multiply 4 by 20% and you get 80% of a year. So maintenance payments will continue for a little bit less than a year if it's a 4-year marriage. And that percentage increases as the duration of the marriage increases. So when you get to 10 years, it's 44.4% of the duration of the marriage. So you basically get to 4.4 years, 4.5 years. If it's a 10-year marriage, you're paying maintenance for 4.5 years. So it's increased from 20% for a less than 5-year marriage to 44.4% of the length of the marriage for a 10-year marriage. By the time you get to 20 years, it's 100% of the length of the marriage, or an indefinite term. So it's a 20-year marriage, you're going to be paying maintenance payments for the full length of the marriage, 20 years. Now, what's changed here is the way this percentage escalates. Prior to 2019, the percentage would escalate in 5-year increments. So it would jump from, 20% for the first 5 years of the marriage to, and this is not necessarily the accurate number, but it would jump all the way up to, 25% if it's a 10-year marriage. I'm sorry, probably around 40% if it's a 10-year marriage. So the years in between 5 and 10 years would all have that 40% jump applied to them. Now, rather than being 5-year increments, it escalates more gradually in 1-year increments. So by the time you get to a 10-year marriage, it might be the same result, 44.4% of the length of the marriage will be the duration of maintenance payments. But the years in between 5 and 10 will escalate more gradually. So it won't just automatically leap on year 6 from 20% to 44.4%. It goes from 20% on year 4 to something like 28% on year 5, and then it escalates gradually year by year. So the upshot, there's a lot of numbers to throw at you, I'm sorry. The upshot is that for some people in those in-between years, the duration of maintenance payments might be slightly smaller than it would have been if their maintenance order had been entered prior to 2019. So for some people in those years that have the incremental increase in duration rather than the 5-year jump, they might be paying less in maintenance. So most of these changes involve smaller maintenance awards. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments section below this post at learn-about-law.com or below the video on our YouTube station. And we try to respond to questions within a couple of days if we can. If you found this helpful and you'd like to be informed of our daily article and video topics that we post, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, and SoundCloud, and that helps us out a lot too. If you need some help, you can give us a call at 630-324-6666. The 630-324-6666. We offer free consultations in many areas of law, and we have offices all around Chicagoland for your convenience. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
Thanks so much for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Click the subscribe button for new videos every week, and download and review us on iTunes. Visit learn-about-law.com for other legal-related articles and videos. Visit our business podcast and video blog, seizeyourbusiness.com, and visit Making Real Estate Fun for real estate videos and podcasts. Call us at 630-324-6666 for a free consultation.